Welcome to our Instagram Live. I'm just going to give it a few seconds just for those people who are going to be joining to join, and then we will get ourselves started. And even if you're watching on the replay, if you can leave a comment below, it would be amazing to hear if you're watching on replay or if you're watching on live. And where you're tuning in from as well. So whether you're tuning in live or on the recording, please let us know where you're tuning in from. It'd be amazing to hear. And also, maybe if you're someone who has already attended one of our workshops, or maybe you're one of the students and you're already certified as a holosomatic breathwork, bodywork, or energy work therapist, please leave it in the comments. We'd love to know who's on and who's engaging with us. So yeah, I'm super excited to be here, and this particular topic about how we can really access true healing by listening to our body and listening to our emotions, okay? And please, if you have any questions as we go through, please feel free to leave them. There's a lot of information for me to be able to cover on this live, but at the end, I'm going to make sure there were some questions that were submitted via the Instagram stories, and I'm going to make sure that I get those answered. But of course, if you have any questions throughout, please leave that, and I'm going to pick them up at the end, okay? Just to make sure we can get through everything. So, first of all, okay, how do we achieve this true healing? By listening to our body and listening to our emotions. The first thing that's really important to understand is that our body and our emotions are intimately connected, okay? And it's also important to know that the body is constantly communicating with us, okay? It's constantly guiding us towards what is ultimately best for us. So it may not always seem to be the case, but our body is always on our side. It always wants what's best for us. And sometimes it doesn't seem to be that way because we have pains in our body and we have different illnesses or diseases within the body. But the body is always communicating with us, and it's always trying to do the best that it can, because our default state is wellness. And our body is always trying to get itself back to that place of wellness. So this is just our default state. And next up, so we understand that these two things are connected. Now, physical sensations and emotions, whenever we feel different physical sensation in the body, this may be tightness, this may be discomfort, this may be pain, it may be pleasure. And whenever we're experiencing any emotions, and that can be everything from happiness and joy to sadness, despair, fear, any emotions and any physical sensations are actually messages from the body. It's the way that the body is trying to communicate with us. And what it's doing is it's helping us to bring awareness to what's really happening, okay? So, you know, many people, they don't have a very strong connection to their body. So what we want to really do, and many of the practices that we do with holosomatic therapy, it's about really connecting to our body and feeling and really listening to the body. So let's break it down even further. So we talked about the physical part, and we talked about the emotions. So when it comes to the physical side of things, physical discomfort, okay, so say tension or pain or anything like this, it's a sign that there's something emotionally that needs our attention, okay? So keep that in mind. Whenever we are experiencing tension in the body or discomfort or pain, there's something that needs to be addressed. So now there's a couple of things that I just want to make sure you're clear on the front end. Now, some people would be like, well, no, because if I've got pain in my body, it's because of X, Y, and Z instead, and it's not something emotional. Now, of course, if you happen to walk into something and you banged your head, then obviously the thing we need to learn is to be more observant when we're walking around, okay? So, of course, if we have an injury because of an impact, then that's obviously not going to necessarily be an emotional thing. But also, some people, they may think, but what about soreness from exercise? So if someone's been working out, then surely that's not. Again, this is something that's different. However, there could still be something linked to it. Because the deeper question is, maybe if we're feeling that sore from our exercise, and my background, I worked as a personal trainer for 18 years, so I have a lot of knowledge in this area as well, is, why do we need to be pushing ourselves that much that we feel so much physical discomfort within our body? Because some people, this is why I moved into this line of work, because I saw that it was quite a toxic environment, and actually people were focused on the wrong things. And actually, if they really were more in tune with their body and more connected to their emotions and went on more of a self-healing journey, actually many of the things that they were trying to achieve from being in the gym would already be achieved anyway, because many people, they're punishing themselves in the gym. For some people, they're wanting to change their body shape because they seek validation, they need approval from others, they need acceptance from others. So there are many things behind it, but this is not a live on that particular subject. Maybe we'll do that another time as well. So another situation, okay? So I'm talking about how discomfort, tension, and pain is an emotional needs. Okay, so of course there's a couple of scenarios where it's different. So I just want to pre-frame that before people will be like, well, it's not always emotional. Let's say if someone hurts their back because they're putting their shoe on, okay, or they were putting their seatbelt on when they got into the car. Now, of course, none of these are dangerous acts that should be avoided, okay? We should be able to put our shoe on. But why did the back go? Okay, that's the deeper question. Okay, what was being avoided, and why is there a weak link within the back as an example? Okay, so again, even when we're taking it outside of the context that I'm sharing, there's still normally something deeper in there. However, let's now think about something that is more relevant. If someone has chronic tension in their neck, maybe this is actually due to unrepressed feelings or the load of responsibilities. Maybe they carry a lot of responsibilities, and that could be with their work, their family commitments, with their friends. And then also another physical manifestation, if someone has some digestive issues, maybe they have an unsettled stomach. This may actually be a signal from the body that there's some underlying anxiety or some unprocessed anger, okay? So these are quite common links, and this is what we do when it comes to holosomatic bodywork therapy. It's more about what's the underlying cause of whatever's happening within the body, and then we're mapping it, and then we're seeing by an exploration process if we can help to shift that. And it's amazing that behind many of these discomforts and tensions, there's a lot of emotions as well. I'll give you another example as well. Is say if someone is, really feeling a lot of stress within their whole system, many things go wrong. So in my previous work, I would meet people and they've got high blood pressure, they've got high cholesterol, they're overweight, they struggle with energy, and it's like the whole system is upset. And when the whole system is upset, it's not going to be something which some sort of medication can fix, okay? If we go to the doctors, it's very unlikely, or I would actually say there's zero chance of actually having a conversation about what's the underlying reason for your digestive issues. There's very unlikely to be a conversation about stress levels, about unresolved trauma. And actually this is often actually what's beneath what's going on. So often what happens instead is that we end up masking the symptoms. So we get some painkillers or we get some anti-acid medication. I'm talking from personal experience because I had some digestive things going on, and I was prescribed some anti-acid tablets for a number of months. And there was actually when I discovered really what was going on, of course, it wasn't going to be solved by some tablets, because it was more of an emotional root cause of what was happening within inside my body. So the downside is when we mask symptoms, when we take a painkiller, what we're doing is now we're not listening to the body. Okay, we're actually blocking the signals, and then the problem still remains. So what happens is it tends to manifest in different ways. So it will tend to come out in another part of the body, within another problem, with another disease or symptom, or another area of tension. So that's more our physical side of things. So now let's talk about emotions, especially those emotions which we often consider as being more difficult emotions. So things such as anger or sadness or fear. So these in particular, we see them within the holosomatic therapy as really important guides. They're actually communicating with us. They are sacred emotions, and they're not bad emotions. These are not things that we should avoid. We talk about anger and how actually it's a very healthy emotion. And actually when we express our anger, this is very, very healthy for the body. So again, if maybe you have attended some of the on-site workshops where we've done the holosomatic experience and you've had that opportunity to really connect to these different emotions, we feel so amazing afterwards. Like, there's a lot of emotional release once someone gives themselves permission to be able to feel what needs to be felt. This is super important. So let me give you a couple examples of this. So anger. Let's say if someone has some built up anger and they easily get triggered and they automatically go into more of an anger response. Okay, this is how their body is responding to many different situations, which shouldn't really probably always lead to more of an explosive anger response. This can really reveal boundaries that actually need reinforcing. Okay, so maybe there was a time where those boundaries weren't imposed, and actually now there's this wound. Now there's this trauma there, and it's very sensitive. So any scenario where it's in the same theme, or we touch a nerve, as we call it, when that happens, we automatically fire into anger. So this is very normal when it comes to boundaries, is having this emotional response of anger. Then we have fear. And this actually may be an area where we need to grow. Maybe it's an area where it's very normal. When we want to grow, when we want to develop, we're fearful about it because we're stepping outside of our comfort zone. So fear is often an area that maybe we've been avoiding, but that's going to help us to be able to grow. And it's what we need to move forward with our lives. And then we have sadness. So I mentioned sadness as well. So this could also be a need to let go. That could be letting go of something or someone, or maybe instead we just need to simply find acceptance with whatever the situation is with that particular person or that particular scenario as well. So by tuning into our bodies and our emotions, we can actually gain very profound insights. And this is what we see time and time again. And again, this was my personal journey myself. The reason why I got started with this work was because I attended a session and I could not believe the impact it had on my life. It was absolutely transformational, but it was behind the emotions, behind these physical tensions within the body, there was a huge amount of insights. And it was those insights that helped me to completely change everything within my life. And I'm very, very grateful for having found those emotions. Most people, they're trying to avoid emotions. They're trying to avoid, they're worried about being triggered. Actually, when we get triggered, this is giving us this awareness. Okay, and this is something that's really important. Okay, and we also talk about it when we do the on-site workshops, when we do the teacher trainings, that you're going to get triggered. This is very normal in this environment to get triggered, because what you're then doing is when you get triggered, you're touching onto something that is not healed at this moment in time. Now, many people, they are on this journey. And this journey could be like they want to go on this spiritual path. They're on a spiritual awakening, or maybe they're on more of a self-healing journey, or maybe it's the two, okay? But what's important is that when it comes to this type of journey, whether it's a more spiritual awakening or whether it's a self-healing journey, it's not about learning some new concepts. Okay, it's not about gaining a deeper intellectual understanding or even shifting to a new paradigm, a new way that we see the world. Okay, so many people, they end up doing what we call spiritual bypassing. So what it is they study and they look into and they study all about the chakras and they learn all about all these things from an intellectual perspective, but they're not doing the work. They're not actually addressing their triggers. They're not actually facing their emotions. They're not actually facing their emotions with compassion. It's important that for us to be able to go on a spiritual journey, or for us to go on this self-healing journey, it's not just simply learning some methods and techniques. We've got to be going through that journey. We need to be connecting to and healing our own traumas. And when we do that, guess what happens? The energy flows more freely. Automatically, we unblock our chakras when we're on this journey, okay? So many of the times people do particular practices where it's more surface level, okay? They're doing practices to help with the chakras, but they're not working and addressing what's creating the blocks within their body, within their energy centers. So the work is really about working on our triggers. It's about facing our emotions and helping us to release whatever it is that's not serving us anymore. And that's why you may see in the videos that we often share on social media, from our events and from the teach trainings, etc., there's a lot of people who are having emotional releases, because it's on the other side of the emotional release. That's where the progress is, okay? This is where the growth comes. And when we can deeply reconnect again with our bodies, this is the holy grail. This is where we're aiming for. So with holosomatic therapy, it's about creating that space for us to be able to feel what needs to be felt, express what needs to be felt, and that can be physically, okay, some physical tensions, particularly when we're talking more about holosomatic bodywork therapy, or it could be emotions, which can be, again, any of the different therapeutic perspectives. But, this takes a lot of courage. It takes being vulnerable. It's not a quick fix as well. People, again, want to rush their journey. Every time people are very frustrated because they're like, what else do I need to do? What am I doing wrong because I haven't done this yet? Or other people say that they've had this experience, and it's like, you can't rush the journey. Because one of the most important things is that when it comes to self-healing, when it comes to trauma healing, we need to do it step by step. Your body wants what's best for you. And what's best for you is not trying to wipe all the trauma all in one go. It's too overwhelming. You won't be able to integrate. You will trash your system, and it won't be a healthy experience. You won't be better for going through that journey. Okay, so what's important is we go, and it's a self-healing journey, as in the body is what's healing. Okay, you may go to a session and a facilitator is guiding and they may be doing some body work, but it's only to assist the body. It's the body that's doing the healing, and it will do it at the pace that the body is ready for, and maybe the mind is ready for as well. So if you're someone who feels like, okay, this sounds like exactly what I need to be able to do, what many people do is they then book up one of the workshops. So whether that's one of the on-site workshops that we have, or whether it is the virtual workshops that we have, this is how most people think. And they're like, right, okay, I'm going to attend one of these sessions. The reality is, again, if you attend one session, you're not going to heal all your traumas in one session. Yes, it's important to maybe attend a workshop to see, does it work? Do these guys really know what they're talking about? Do they create this safe space? Is it really a profound experience? Okay, so we really do this to discover, okay? Because at this moment in time, we're not sure. And then once you know that it's the right thing, the best thing in my personal experience is to go through the holosomatic, say, breath work or body work or energy work therapy programs. And the reason why I say that with so much confidence that this is exactly what will help an individual out is because it's a self-healing journey. And it's something which is going to take a period of time. So why would you not learn the skills of how you can do it? Okay, rather than being dependent on workshops and being dependent on a facilitator or something like this, and again, this may be your journey and this is fine, but we need to have in our mind at this understanding that it's not going to happen overnight. And this may be, I can't even say any time frames because people will think, oh, it would be 9 months or 12 months or 2 years. It could be a lifetime. Okay, because it's a never-ending journey, really. Of course, many people, they are in a state where their nervous system is unregulated. That doesn't take a lifetime to get that. But once we've got that, then we're looking about, actually, I have this behavior in my life. I have this pattern that I always run. I have this block in relationships where I always choose the same partner and it keeps happening every single time. To unpick that, there could be some traumas that we need to be able to unpick, and then things change. So yes, we can have a shorter time frame of just getting ourselves to a point where if we're struggling to function day to day and we're struggling to hold down a job and things like this, of course, this is more of a short-term, medium-term sort of focus. But once we're on this journey, we're then looking for, okay, what else is there? And then we continue on this journey. So if we're on one of the programs, we learn and we know how to do it ourselves. Okay, so this is really powerful. So we have coming up in London on the 4th of December, the holosomatic bodywork training. And this is really the body and the emotions and how they're connected and how we can release those from the body. This is the bodywork training. The breathwork training is a different type of training. With breathwork, if you've attended any of the holosomatic breathwork therapy sessions, there's more to it than just simply laying down. We do a lot of preparation. We do a lot of things beforehand. But essentially, when we're in the main work, we're breathing in different ways and we never know where it's going to go. You could go on a journey where it's very peaceful. Okay, you could have a very deep meditative experience or transpersonal experience, and it's amazing. It's like the most amount of peace you've ever experienced. And the people who tend to experience this are the people that are super busy minded and their minds are never quiet, because you always get what your body needs. Okay, this is super important to understand. And for some people, their journey is big emotions. Okay, they release a lot of emotions that have been under the surface, and then when we connect in this way, this is what they connect to. Some people, it's more of a psychedelic experience. They see colors, they see shapes, they see dragons, and it's more of a visual experience for people. So with breath work, it's like we never know where it's going to go. It's gonna go wherever it's going to go, but it's again what the body needs at that moment in time. However, with body work, this is all about mapping the body. It's all about root causes. It's all about mapping and working out, okay, so where's this tension in the body? What's behind this? And how can we shift this to remove it? It's a very, very powerful process. So the things that I've spoken about, the few examples about, the neck and the stomach and how different problems can manifest in different ways. This is like scratching the surface of everything that we do within the bodywork training. It's 300 hours worth of training. You have 40 hours on site. Okay, so when you do the hybrid training, it's 40 hours. But of course, that's not everything, okay? There's still another 260 hours as well after that, which we need to go through to make sure that we have all the skills we need to really hold space for other people from a trauma-informed perspective. So with a training like the holosomatic bodywork therapy in London coming up in December, you not only gain this deep understanding intellectually, but you're also going through the journey of self-healing yourself. So it's a self-healing journey. My personal journey, I had no interest in becoming a holosomatic therapist. Okay, I didn't want to run sessions myself. I didn't want to guide others. I personally did it for a self-healing journey. And this is why I'm really passionate about this topic of people who want to go on a self-healing journey, that the training programs are like the optimal position to be able to do that, because it's like 40 hours of self-healing. And then of course you have all the modules and assignments that you need to be able to do that, so you understand everything else behind what we're doing. But of course, there's so much of it is about you getting that mind-body connection, really deeply reconnecting to your body and experiencing the method yourself. Because only if you've had a deep personal experience, and if you've been on the lives with me before, this is something I'm super passionate about, is that when you've had a deep personal experience with something, guess what? You are one of the best people to be able to share whatever it is that you've had a deeply personal experience with, because it's authentic for you, okay? You're not doing it for work. You're not doing it to earn money. You're doing it because you know the difference that it's made to you, and you want to share that with other people. And this is very common in this type of work because it's so transformational and people's lives change so much in such a short space of time. It literally changes incredibly. Then people just want to be able to share it with other people. So people who go on the teacher training programs, yes, it's about them going on their journey, but you're also empowered to be able to help other people then. So like you've got the best of both worlds. Again, I didn't do the program because I wanted to help other people, but just through that process of going on myself, I then found, actually, yeah, I can do this as well. And maybe that was a limiting belief. And that's one of the things that you can help people with, is helping to shift limiting beliefs, okay, through this somatic bodywork therapy that we do. Also, many people, they have fears. So helping people to overcome fears that hold them back. And this may be, it could be in their professional lives. It could be them advancing in their work, within their careers. It could be within their relationships. It could be within friends. It could be any circumstance. But many people, they have these deep-rooted fears that through holosomatic bodywork, we can help to shift. And then it enables people to enjoy their life better. It enables some people, they need it because they just need to be able to function in the world better. But that's the first step. But really, it's about helping people to enjoy their life, to really connect deeply with their body and feel healthier and more aligned than they've ever felt before in their lives. This is really the intention of everything that we do. Now, for some people, they may be like, London's too far away. Okay, so wherever it is that you live, it's like, that's just not possible. Or maybe the dates don't work. So it's like the beginning of December, there's a lot going on, and maybe that isn't possible. Then there's also the online programs that we run. And these, I can assure you, are just as effective. Okay, most people in their minds, they're like, okay, the best program is the on-site program. And then there's this online version, which isn't as good. People won't be as effective afterwards as a therapist afterwards. I can assure you, because my first experience was the holosomatic breathwork therapy training online. That was the way I got started. And in a very short space of time, it's only been like 3 years since I had my first experience. And I've guided more than 400 hours of breathwork and bodywork. I absolutely love this. And it was the online training that really unlocked everything for me. And I didn't even have big goals or visions and intentions with it to be able to even use it. Okay, it just happened very, very naturally for me. So I know with conviction that the online, if you're thinking that, oh no, I only want to do it if it's in person, if it works better for you. For some people, it's like factoring in the extra traveling, the extra time away from family or away from work, it's just not possible. And also there's additional costs then as well. So the online, I promise you, is absolutely amazing. And why that works so well is that you are going to be online with one of the master trainers, or you'll get a chance to be with each of the different master trainers throughout the journey for 40 hours. Okay, so you're being guided for 40 hours okay? Plus your training program is still 300 hours, whether you do online or hybrid, okay? But when you're doing the online version, you're going to be online 2.5 hours a week for 14 weeks. You have 40 weeks worth of being with one of the master trainers to be able to help you first on your personal healing journey, but then going through to holding space for other people. And your online modules and your assignments are the same whether you do the hybrid, so you do the 5 days on site, or whether you do the online. So what I want you to understand is like the 5 days on site is 40 hours. And if you do the online, you do 40 hours with a facilitator. But again, that's spread out over more of a 14-week period of time rather than 5 days intensive. This is really the way to be able to see it. So, you know, think about it. I mean, this is a weird way to explain it, but I just thought of it. It just came to mind. Is if you were going to learn to drive, okay, you can do your driving, and for me, mine was more like 1 or 2 lessons a week for however many months, rather than some people, they do like a crash course, and what they do is they do it all within like 1 week, and then they have their test afterwards. Some people, it works better to do certain things. Plus, some people, they just want to travel to London or they want to travel to Malaga. And yeah, I just want to say, for those guys in Malaga, they're struggling with the weather. I know Alexis, the founder of Innercamp, lives in Malaga. Yeah, it's been pretty challenging for them, but it looks like things are improving. So yeah, we're super happy to be able to hear that because yeah, I'm actually flying out there on Monday to go and join the energy training program. But fingers crossed, it looks like everything's going to be fine. And yeah, just hoping everyone who's out there is safe and everything is all going well over there. So yeah, when it comes to these programs, yeah, you're going to have that opportunity to be and learn online with the facilitators. And the level 2, so the first level is all self-healing. You receiving yourself before you start to hold space for other people. And when it comes to level 2 and you're holding space for other people, to begin with, you're going to be with those people who are going to be less judgmental, which are going to be the other students that are also on this journey as well. That happens when you're on the on-site as well. You're going to be facilitating to the other students. But of course, it's going to be online. Then what you're going to have an opportunity to do is you're going to bring someone or people to your space, whether it's your home or you have another professional working space that you can do it, and you're going to be practicing the techniques that you're learning on person. So you've got the skills of being able to guide people online. You'll be able to help and support people online, help people with their healing journey online, but also you've got the skills to be able to help people in person as well. Okay, so you get the hands-on work. Okay, it's not all virtual, it's not all this way. Okay, you also get the hands-on experience as well. So that's why it's super effective. And as I say, that was my personal experience myself. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you because I'm really passionate about it, and we have the upcoming trainings in regards to bodywork in London on the 4th of December, and we have another edition of the bodywork online starting at the end of this month as well. I think it's the 30th. And tomorrow, for those people who are very motivated and they want to, and they've already been looking into the training, they really want to get themselves started with one of the trainings, there is a special discount coming tomorrow. Okay, so our Black Friday offer starts from tomorrow and runs through until the end of the month. So you've got like 2 weeks where you're getting a special discount. I'm not allowed to share what it is on this call. I really wanted to, but I'm not allowed to share it. So you'll just keep an eye on the Instagram page tomorrow. Make sure you check on the Instagram page tomorrow and you'll see what's coming. It's amazing. So for those people who want to do an on-site teacher training or an online teacher training, it's going to be, really, really exciting for you guys. So what I now want to do, I appreciate for everyone who's been commenting and everyone who's been asking questions. I promise I'm going to get to any questions that you've submitted. But first of all, I want to now go through the ones that were submitted on the Instagram story. So we asked for some questions. So I wanted to be able to, first of all, answer these guys. And I promise I'm going to get to you guys as well. So first things first, let me just find the messages. Okay, so first message was from, I mean, these are Instagram names, so this might not make too much sense, but Simike, maybe, underscore Simike, who left a message, a question, say, what should I expect as a beginner in a breathwork session? Now, when it comes to that, it depends on what type of breathwork session you're going to be going along to. Breathwork is an umbrella term that covers anything where you're taking conscious control of your breathing. So there are many different breathwork practices, okay? The ones that we do at InnerCamp, the holosomatic breathwork therapy, is a therapy, okay? So it's got a different intention than a breathwork session, which is more about how to breathe properly, how to expand your lungs, how to improve your lung capacity. So it's going to be a completely different experience. And also there's different breathwork practices where it's more meditative states. And yeah, so there's many different things. If you're talking about attending one of the holosomatic experiences where we do the holosomatic breathwork, you know what? The best thing you can do as a beginner is have no expectations. Is really to have no expectations. To come open. Because when we come with expectations, what happens is we're in the mind. So during the session, we're expecting something to happen. And this is the problem with people who have done many sessions before. If they've had experience before, they're in their mind more. And they're expecting things to go a certain way. And guess what? They tend to fall into a pattern and they always have the same reactions. They always have the same type of experience because their body's just going back into that because they have expectations. But one of the things, you know, I think I mentioned earlier on about different things that can happen when you're in this journey. It's that, look, you're always going to get what you need, what your body needs at that moment in time, okay? So it's always going to be healthy for you, okay? So for some people, they need more rest. So they have this deep, meditative, transpersonal type experience. For other people, they're strong and they're ready. They've done some work and they're ready to face something bigger. So they may connect into more emotions and they may, really start to tap into a trauma and start to release a trauma that they've had buried for a longer period of time. To some people, maybe they've done a lot of work and maybe they're more connected to their body's energy and they feel a lot of pleasure in their body and they feel a lot of tingling sensations and there's no struggle, there's no pain, there's no sadness, there's actually just pleasure, there's joy in the body. Maybe they have a more visual experience and they have a more psychedelic experience with colors and they see things. Some people it's more like shamanic and they have more of a past lives. They see their past lives or they connect to their ancestors. It can go in so many different ways. The most important thing is to come with an open mind and just fully trust, fully surrender. The more you can do that and the more you can be out of your mind and in your body, the deeper you go and the more amazing experience that you end up having. Next one, I've got somebody who was this, Sue.Zan85, so Susan, I believe. So she left a message saying that she attended a workshop in Antwerp in October. It was quite a big message, so I've just simplified things. That essentially it was a very profound experience and she was expressing her gratitude. So thank you so much for sharing with us. But one thing that she also mentioned is that she also got triggered. She had anger triggered within her towards a particular type of man. Now, I hope that wasn't me, by the way. Actually, it's not always a bad thing. Triggering, I've already explained some stuff about anger and what could be behind anger. So maybe I've already answered this question. And yeah, when we get triggered, when we feel emotions, that's an invitation that there's something going on there, okay? So being triggered is not a bad thing. It's actually bringing to us more awareness and it helps us to go deeper. But she has mentioned that it has then followed into issues ongoing within her professional life. so I'm guessing sort of work environment. And she would like to find a breathwork facilitator in Belgium for more sessions because she feels like she needs to experience more. So yeah, for anybody who is interested in receiving this, and of course we go around and do these large group workshops, but if you go on to innercamp.com, we have a map of trained facilitators. Okay, so if you go on there, you can find someone who's in your city or in your country, and you'll be able to connect with them. Their contact details are on there. So there's definitely many that are in Belgium. We trained quite a lot of people in that area. So yeah, highly recommend going to the map and checking out there. And also one more thing from Suzanne was about the Malaga retreat. She wanted to understand a bit more about the Malaga retreat in December. Now, the Malaga retreat this December is sold out, so it wouldn't be until next year. Next year's one is available to book already. And these sell out every single time. So if you're interested in it, it's worth booking up further ahead. And you know, this is going to be everything. You get breath work, you get body work, you get energy work, you get cacao ceremonies. It's a real immersive experience. You're doing practices, not intense practices, but you're doing practices from morning till night. It's a full, and you know, it's not intense. It's a balance of many different things. But in there, every day, you're going to have at least one or two things that are going to be a bit more intense. You don't have to attend every single thing that's on the agenda. You can have some time off if you need to. But if you go on the website and you look on there, it gives you a breakdown of all the different activities. The great thing is the location is absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful place. Obviously, your accommodation sorted, your food sorted. So the good thing is you can really go deep because you have many practices. By day 2, day 3, you're going deeper because you've chipped away. Okay, and now you're into the deeper stuff. And yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. Key thing is though, after something like this, because it's very intense, because it's over a longer period of time, there just needs some additional time for integration. Again, I've attended 2 of the retreats, and I can assure you integration is important after a single session of say a holosomatic breathwork or bodywork session. After 5 days retreat, yeah, it's going to take a couple of weeks for proper integration, but transformational, hugely transformational. Okay, another question was from Louise_Francis. I would like to learn how to help people through breathwork. How can I start my journey? Yeah, best thing if you're interested in this is the holosomatic breathwork therapy training. We have, again, the online and on-site versions. Actually, if you're interested in on-site, you need to really think about it ASAP. Take advantage maybe tomorrow's Black Friday offer, because the one that's going to happen in February in Malaga, the on-site one, is going to be the last one that happens for at least 5 months. Okay, so there's going to be a break of the on-site ones for 4 to 5 months, I think it is. And yeah, so if you want to do it and it doesn't want to be that you're certified at this time next year, because obviously you need to do your 3-month certification, and you won't be able to start for another 8-9 months from now. It's going to be like 12 months time, then you'll be ready to start holding space for others and guiding other people through the journey. So if you didn't want it to be that long, you wanted to be able to start helping other people in the next 3 to 6 months, I would encourage you to check out the online version that we have. I think it's starting in January. There may be one still edition left this year, but I think it is January, the next one. Or the on-site, which is going to be happening in February. Yeah, highly recommend. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit of gap before that happens. Next one, vanilla_sky_HH. When Hamburg, please? So I'm assuming that they were someone who maybe attended our last workshop when we were in Hamburg. At the moment, we don't have any plans we haven't actually got it on the agenda, another workshop in Hamburg at this moment in time. I think the closest is Frankfurt in January. And then again, the workshops are going to have, we haven't actually got anything planned after the workshops in January at the moment. Workshop wise, we haven't got anything else planned, and things are likely to change after that break. We're less likely to go to as many cities. We're more likely just to have one city in Europe, say Frankfurt as an example. And if you're in Belgium, or if you're in Amsterdam, or if you're in any of these different locations, it would be one event, but it would be a longer event. We're looking potentially at doing some longer sessions, but again, we're still in the planning stage of that. We may still do some workshops, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. So yeah, what I would say is don't hold fire until Hamburg comes up. If you can make it to, say, Frankfurt, highly recommend that. Because yeah, we may or may not. We loved Hamburg. It was such a great session. We love the energy, we love the people, but yeah, unfortunately at this moment in time it just doesn't fit logistically, how we can make it work at this moment in time. Somebody else, quite a complicated Instagram name, so I don't think I'll be able to read this one out. Lendry or something like that. It's quite a long one. What helps against anxiety? Now, this is quite an interesting one. So first of all, we're trying to work against anxiety. So it's something we need to fight or something we're trying to battle with. One of the things we need to reframe it, something that's going to help us maybe with anxiety. It's not something. Anxiety is a way of your body communicating with you. You don't want to fight your body. All of these things are healthy. All of these things are sacred. It's very normal to experience anxiety. Some people, however, can't function because it's out of, they're unregulated. This is two separate things, okay? So anxiety is very, very normal. It's part of the human experience, so it's not something we need to completely avoid and to heal all anxiety. But of course, when it holds us back in our lives, it's something that's really important. All of the practices that we do are all very powerful in regards to that, because it's all about connecting to the body and listening to the emotions. Certainly, the holosomatic body work is more, I would say, out of the others, because if we really struggle a lot with it, maybe holosomatic breathwork can be too overwhelming. Okay, so that would just be a little insight. But to be fair, all of them can be very healthy from an anxiety perspective. But yeah, that would be my first thought, would be more the holosomatic body work, getting underneath what's there and working with that. And then one more question that was submitted on the stories, and then I'll go through the one that we have on here, was Chris. It's quite, again, a long one, but I'm going to shorten to Chris. Is it possible to join you guys to work with you? Interestingly, this is a question we actually get quite a lot. Most workshops, someone comes to us and asks if they can work. And I remember Alexis saying if we employed everyone who wanted a job, we'd have more employers than Apple or something like that. It's a joke. But when it comes to the people who work within a camp, generally the majority of the people are people who have been students, because they have that deep connection to it. They've had the profound experience. They love the company. They love the method. So it's a very authentic thing for people to be able to do. So, but that doesn't mean that anyone who's been a student is, again, going to start working with the company sort of thing. But of course, it tends to be people who have come through as well. But again, we've trained over 2,000 therapists, so it's limited. It's where the demand's needed at that moment in time. One thing that we always are working with is when we do our on-site workshops and when we do these events that we're planning, the students are coming and we work together as a team. So there's always these opportunities for our students to be able to do this type of work with us as well. So that completes all the questions that are around there. So we are running a little low on time, but I'm going to do my best to see what questions we have on here. So let me have a quick scan through and see if I can find some. Now, as we've been on here for like 49 minutes, I have to scroll quite far back. Okay, let's see if we have any. And yeah, thank you for those guys who are sharing where you're tuning in from as well. It's great to see people from Manchester, who we're going to be in Manchester very soon, actually, at the end of the month. Holland, we're back there in January. Germany, Okay, amazing. The UK, Belgium. I love Belgium. Even before we started to travel around and go, I've visited Belgium a number of times. I absolutely love it. I've got quite a few friends over in Belgium, and I love heading over there. Texas, cool. We got some Texas from Sussex. I'm Sussex as well. Claire, amazing. I'm just along from Brighton. Okay, someone else sharing it was the best therapy session ever. Maybe it was one of our sessions. Maybe it was something else she was referring to. Let's have a look and see. Where are you from? Yeah, so for the person who asked, I'm from the UK. People are always confused because I've got this weird twang to my voice. But yeah, it's nothing exotic. I'm from the UK on the south coast near Brighton. And I'm still there. Okay, let me see if I can find questions. Maybe. I had a lot of information to get through, so maybe I was talking too fast and wasn't allowing you guys to ask questions, as there was so much information being shared. Here we go. I love this journey. I can't wait for the next session. Amazing. So yeah, hopefully see you again, whether that's on person. And again, the online workshops, super, super effective as well. I agree that after the holosomatic experience, my life was changed forever. Yeah. And again, the thing is, most people see that life changing means life is perfect. This is not changing our life. Yes, something can happen and we shift something big and our life is changed. But it doesn't mean that we're in this continual state of bliss and it's just happiness every day and we never get triggered. But it's enough for a significant shift and for us to feel better. And that's where I feel. I have made so many shifts since I've been on this journey with InnerCamp. It's been unbelievable, but I know there's more and more to be done. It's a life changer for sure. Thank you so much for sharing. What else have we got? The workshop was life-changing for me. Thank you, Claire. That's Claire from Sussex, actually, who messaged earlier on. Okay, let me just see. Oh, here we go. I'm French. I did the breathwork training and now energy therapy online as well. I really recommend InnerCamp. So much quality knowledge. Yeah, thank you, Melly, for your share. Yeah, and I'm excited because I'm just about to start. I've started the online modules of the on-site therapy training. So it's the same modules, but I'm excited to start the in-person training as well. So excited to be part of that with you guys. I did not know my body would tell me so much during and after the session. It was mind-blowing. This is exactly the topic of this live. So thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it. Let's see if there's any others. Hey, I've got a quick question. Does the session in Manchester consist of Reiki? No. So when it comes to what we do, there is some energy work. So some of the facilitators are trained in energy work. So there's energy work that happens as well, but it's not Reiki. I mean, some of the therapists that we train are also trained in Reiki. So those guys may be combining that with their methods when they're working with clients. But the energy work that we do, the holosomatic energy therapy, I'm on the course myself, so it's still new for me. But it's not, with Reiki, we're channeling. My understanding of Reiki, okay, so I'm no expert in Reiki, but we're channeling some energy and we're using that to be able to help, okay? With the energy therapy that we do at InnerCamp, the holosomatic energy therapy, it's about working with the individual's energy. Okay, so it's less about outside in and it's more working with our own energy, and it's helping to remove the blockages and helping to raise that energy and connecting to our life force energy, our Kundalini energy as well. So yes, good question. We often get that question about is it Reiki that happens during the sessions? So I just found another one. I'm just coming across this page and practice, live in the US, but very interested. Are the online sessions live or pre-recorded? Thank you, Hector. So yeah, when it comes to the online sessions, you have the live ones, the live sessions. You get 20 hours of live sessions a month. So the people who are a part of the InnerCamp membership, you get 20 hours per month. And that's a combination of breath work, body work, cacao ceremonies, womb healing, Kundalini activation. It's everything. The value is crazy. It's less than 50 euros a month for 20 hours worth of these practices. It's unbelievable. So you get access to the live sessions. Now, of course, if, say, you're in the US and the times don't work or it clashes with work, you also get access to the recordings for 30 days once the session has finished. Okay, so yeah, if you can't make it on live, no worries. You can do the recording, but the live sessions do happen as well. Would you say that anxiety disorders can be fixed? Look, this is just my personal opinion. I believe anything can be changed, okay? I'm not saying that holosomatic therapy is the thing, and by doing 2 sessions, this would cure this or this would cure that. But my deeply held belief is that nothing is fixed, and that we are able to change whatever it is. And that may be through practices like holosomatic therapy, but it may be many other things as well. So yeah, I've always had this belief. And this is even in my previous work when I was working with people in regards to like wanting to lose weight or change shape or improve their health parameters, reverse diabetes and stuff like that. This was my belief. Someone will come to me and they say, it's hard for me to lose weight because I'm going through the menopause. I just don't believe it, okay? I believe they may be going through the menopause, but I don't believe it's going to be harder. If I believe it's going to be harder, it limits the potential for the other person energetically. And this is before I knew anything about all this stuff, but it would limit what I think is possible for the individual. So I do obviously believe all these things exist, but I don't, when I'm talking to someone, I have complete faith that there is a way. I may not have the way. Might not be the person who ends up unlocking it, but I know there's a way. So yeah, anxiety, I think, no problem. But again, I'm not making any promises, and I'm not saying that this would be the thing. So does the Manchester healing session contain shamanic and Reiki? I've spoken about the Reiki, but yeah, shamanic, yes, there are some shamanic practices, or like what we tend to do with the holosomatic experience is that we combine many of the things we do in a camp together. So it's like a taster session, because you get some breath work, you get some body work, you get some energy work, you get some shamanic, you get some tantric, you get a mix of everything. So there'll be some elements of it which is shamanic, and that may be the music that's played. It may be also the instruments that are used, so like a shamanic drum, or it could be rattles and things like that. Yeah, this is a part of what we do as well. What else have I got? Oh, I'm seeing lots of snakes and energies. It must be when I was talking about the energy training program, or talking about something along these lines. Thank you. I was just going to ask about the scheduling. Much appreciated. No worries, Hector. Thank you. I'll be looking for information on the Instagram page. Blessings. Thank you. Whatever we practice, we become. Love it, Jennifer. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. Another one. I'm looking very much forward to the workshop in Munich in January. I am still thankful for the experience I had last September. Do you have a venue already? Thank you. So when it comes to Munich, yeah, we had an amazing experience in Munich, and we're really, really excited to be back. If it's not published on the website yet, then the venue is not confirmed. Now, there's a very good chance that there's 2 or 3 venues that we have lined up. And yeah, sometimes there's some negotiations that we need to do in regards to like the music and the rates and things like that. And also depending on how many people are booking. So there's many things to consider. So yeah, at the moment, if it's not on the website, it won't be confirmed, because as soon as we have it confirmed, it goes on the website. But amazing, guys. I make it 2 minutes to the hour. So that was pretty good timing to be able to go through all the things. If there is any last minute questions, please feel free to use the chat box. I'll be super happy to be able to connect and answer any questions. But if not, it's been an absolute pleasure to be on here and to be sharing some insights with you guys around our body and around our emotions, and how these things are talking to us, and we can use this as part of our healing. And the healing only happens when we connect to these things. Okay, we can't learn about particular things. We can't again do what's known as spiritual bypassing. This is something which unfortunately a lot of people end up doing. They study and study, and they learn and learn, and they learn about all these different concepts, and they understand so much, but they're not doing the work. Okay, when we listen to the body, when we connect into our emotions, when we are vulnerable, when we're ready to go through these, this is where the healing comes from. And guess what? All the things we're looking for, whether that's more energy, more vitality, whether it's raising our Kundalini energy, whether it's unblocking our chakras, whether it's finding the love of our lives, all of these things come from when we do the work. When we do the work, all these things come as a byproduct. Even if you don't know what these things are, even if you don't even understand Kundalini, you can activate it just through doing the work, okay? So again, try to go from like the body's experience rather than try to go top down, mind down. Try to work with the body, and this is where the healing and the transformation just amplifies. And like it's not a fast track, but it's like it's faster to start to work with the body than to try to go really deep in the mind, because then it can take us a little bit further away. Okay, I just seen one more thing. I love the breathwork session in Antwerp. Are the online sessions more or less the same? I love the combination of different techniques. Yeah, so the online sessions, you have different online sessions. So there is one coming up. Don't think it's next week, maybe it's the week after. Actually, it might even be tomorrow, which is holosomatic fusion, which is a combination of breathwork, bodywork, and energy work. So that's more similar to what we do at the workshops. But if you go on there, you'll see holosomatic breathwork sessions to connect to your superpowers or something like that. Then you'll have like holosomatic bodywork for trauma release. So you'll have a look and you'll see the different things, and then you can choose the things that most resonate with you. So yeah, hope that helps. That is me. Yes, Hector, thank you so much. So much information. Yeah, I do apologize. I am someone who tends to talk quite quickly and quite enthusiastically. So I do apologize. This is the feedback I often get, is too fast, too much. I need to do more work for sure. Thank you. You're very welcome, Hector. Great to connect with you, my man. And we have another one. Thank you so much for this live session. You're very, very welcome. Looking forward to the on-site training in Malaga starting January, February. So I believe that's the breathwork, the one that starts at the end of January, beginning of February. If so, I'll be there. So I'll look forward to seeing you there. Yeah, I'm there for the breathwork and the bodywork. So I'll be excited to, meet all the people that are starting their journey. Amazing, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Of course, these sessions wouldn't be the same, these live sessions, if it wasn't for you guys tuning in and for the interaction and for the questions and stuff. It's really, really special. So thank you so much. And yes, we'll look forward to hopefully seeing you online or connecting with you via the Instagram page, or maybe on the online sessions or teacher training programs or on sites. But anyway, wishing you a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully, see you again soon. Let's keep connected. Take care. Bye-bye.